What's going on, everybody? This is Dylan with Dylan Talks Tone, and today I'm going to tell you why I think I was completely wrong about the Silver Sky, and chances are a lot of you are too. So I'm pretty late to the party. For those of you who have watched my channel for a long time, you'll know that I've never been a PRS fan. This is actually the first PRS guitar that I've ever owned. We unboxed this on Friday, a couple days ago, as of the making of this video, and I spent a lot of time playing it. Honestly, well, I'll give you my thoughts on it, but let me tell you, I have never played such a great guitar. This thing is so good. So, let's get a couple of things out of the way. Number one, this is not sponsored. I paid for this guitar with my own money. Nobody asked me to make this video. I didn't talk to anybody. And the reason I did it is because I've kind of always wanted one to play more than just in a music store, to see what's really going on with this thing and why it's so cool, why people think it's so cool. Then the other thing is that I also wanted to get one because I want to compare it to the PRS Silver Sky SE when it comes out, because I'd like to get one of those too. But I want this for reference because I'm very, very curious about it. So let's dive right in. First of all, what I'm going to tell you and why I think a lot of people are wrong about the Silver Sky is everybody says it's just a Strat copy by PRS. Okay. In the strictest sense of the word, I guess you could say so because it looks like a Strat shape. But in my opinion, after spending some time with it, that's the only similarity. You know, any other guitar brand could make an S-style guitar. I've got a Schecter sitting right over there. Sir, Anderson, any other guitar, and nobody would make a big deal out of it, but for some reason they did with PRS. But what's weird about it is, this is the least Strat-like Strat of any of the Strat copies. This is not a Strat copy by PRS. This is a PRS that looks sort of like a Strat, and there's a big difference. So we're gonna dive in to why that is. Probably the biggest thing is the neck. So this 7 1/4 radius fretboard, the frets are a little on the small side. Obviously the 3x3 peg head because it's a PRS, so there's nothing Fendery about that. The biggest thing to me though is this neck profile. This is unlike any Strat I've ever played. This is a PRS neck. It's not a Fender neck. It is PRS. Now, the reason this is so important is because it's not just the fact that the profile is different and it's so PRS. It's also that the width of the neck down here and where it fits into the neck pocket it's just different. The string spacing, is different. How your hand sits and when you play here is much different than my regular Strat up there. The guitar plays completely differently. So if you just forget that this body is sort of a shape of a Strat, you won't think about the fact that it is a Strat-y kind of thing, because it's just not. The guitar plays completely differently. Now it is the same scale length, but I'm telling you, that width and the taper from here to here makes such a big difference, and it's so different than a Fender. So different than a Fender that you can't even, man, there's just no reference between the two. One thing I found out, because I actually kind of prefer smaller necks, so when I first started playing it, I was like, man, I don't even know if I'm gonna like this, because it's a little deeper than a Fender neck. It's not like a V like a Clapton, it's its own thing. It is a PRS thing. And when you play it, so I've always been a person to like hook over my thumb. At first, I couldn't do it. I literally have to hold the guitar completely different because this neck is so much wider. I really felt a big difference in my picking hand down here as far as string spacing. I was missing at first. It's almost like going from Martin to a Taylor, if that makes sense. The string spacing is enough different where you kind of have to relearn where you're at. So if you're a person who is like, I only play Fender guitars and I can only play certain neck profiles and I can only play and otherwise I can't play, then you might not like this. But if you're somebody who wants to actually own a PRS but enjoys a Strat, this is a PRS that kind of looks like a Strat. Nothing else. There's another thing too. The tremolo feel, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. The pickups and the tone, all of the, so it's a volume and a tone and a tone, and the bottom tone controls the bridge pickup. The balance of the guitar, well, let's talk about electronics first. The electronics of the guitar are phenomenal. These pickups are great. The only downside I have to them is they're not high enough output to really push an amp. So you'll find, in my opinion anyway, you'll find that this guitar just makes you want to play clean. Like, I don't really care about putting pickup pedals with it or, you know, cranking up the amp. I just want to play clean. Like, it just makes me want to play clean, which kind of makes sense because of what it is. Probably the most important thing about this guitar that makes it a PRS and not a Fender and not a Fender copy is PRS can build a Paul Reed Smith guitar with a shape of a body that is similar to a Strat. But Fender cannot build a Strat shape that plays like a PRS. What do I mean by that? On our channel, we go on and on and on about the efficiency of the notes. When we talk about a guitar and we play a note, just any note, right? And people will say, I walked down the aisle and I strummed all the guitars and it was so resonant, bro. And it was like it plays so good acoustically, that's gonna make it awesome. Okay, they're going on about tone wood crap about that. The real important thing is that every note on this guitar is efficient. There is no lost energy. I would like to speak with Paul Reed Smith about how he does this. I would like to understand better from him how this happens, because the angle of the peg head, the scarf joint angle, the way the strings come through the nut, I know it all matters. Everybody's like, why isn't it straight pull? I'm guessing because it actually isolates more vibration into the string, the tuning the tunable area, making the guitar sustain longer and it doesn't lose energy outside. That would be my guess, but I would like to talk to Paul about this because this is very fascinating to me. The notes ring forever, and it's not a wood thing. It is actually as much as, maybe it is somewhat, but as much as I can tell the efficiency of how good the nut is, how good the saddles are. The setup on the guitar is 100% perfect. And when you play it, it doesn't matter where you are on the neck. All of the notes ring really, really long, and you can just tell that all of the angles and all of the string angles and all of the breakovers and everything are absolutely perfect. This is something you don't get on a Fender guitar because of the design of it. So this guitar is an evolution in engineering over what it is purported to copy. This is a furtherance of engineering. It is not a copy. I 100% believe that now after spending some time with it. It's unbelievable. I've always been somebody who said I never cared about PRSs because they sound so sterile. Well, in my mind, I think that's now, after playing this, I think the only thing I never liked about a PRS is I don't really like their humbuckers that much. However, I'd like to try it again. So I don't really care about like the CE stuff and all of the other PRS stuff. I really like this guitar because I like a Strat, but I want a PRS as far as the note efficiency, the setup, the frets, everything. Now, let's talk a little bit about setup because I was a little enamored in this setup. When I got it, the action was a little high. I was like, wow, this is so weird. But I went to lower it, so I lowered the action and I reset the intonation. What I found is that I started getting fret buzz and stuff. So, because it has a 7 1/4 fretboard radius, they are putting the action a little higher on the outside strings from the factory as a setup. You can mess around with that a little bit if you want. I ended up getting my net result was a little bit lower, but that's how they're getting them to play so well. And honestly, most 7 1/4s, that's kind of how you get them to play so well, where they don't choke out when you bend. It goes forever. It's amazing. Nothing chokes out. Again, all these angles are calculated. I am sure that Mr. Smith does not leave those up to chance. This is why I say this guitar is not a copy of another guitar. It is an evolution into the next world. That's what it is. And I was honestly skeptical whether I was going to like it or not as soon as I started playing it because it's so foreign to me, because I'm a Fender guy. It's so foreign to me. But I absolutely love it. And now, after playing it for hours and hours, believe me, I've been playing it for hours and hours, I can appreciate that evolution. And I'm excited to play the SE when it comes out and compare it to this and see how it feels and what it sounds like and what concessions they may have had to make an $849 guitar as opposed to this one. I'll leave a link to all the gear I used in the video when you heard the music. This guitar, our runway audio cable. I actually used the Positive Grid Spark for this video just because it was fun. It was just kind of fun to play for 15 minutes while we did this. If you have any questions about this, please put it in the comments below. If you've tried one of these in the past, let me know what you think. If you've not tried one, I recommend that you do. And just get over your biases about what you think it is or what you think it isn't, and just go play it. With that in mind, don't think I'm gonna go play a Strat copy. Think I'm playing a PRS. Forget the body shape and just focus on the actual engineering of the thing and how good it feels and how good it sounds and how long the notes stay around. I mean, it is really, really good. Yeah, the people from older videos are gonna call me a sudden fanboy or whatever. But the idea is that now I think I really appreciate why. And I actually would like to talk to Paul about this because I think this is very, very interesting. The neck joint makes way more sense than a Fender. The tremolo works perfectly. This whole thing, that I know you don't like it if you're a Strat guy, but this 3x3 peg head with these angles and this angle works. It really works. There you go. I like it. I like it a lot. And I love the color, and I love the fretboard. The finish on the neck's a little sticky. I'm hoping that's going to wear in. But other than that, I love this thing. Thanks for hanging out. Later in the week, I hope, because this is actually PRS for those of you that are watching this in the future, this is PRS Silver Sky SE release week. And so I'm hoping to get one as fast as I can and start to do some comparisons with it and stuff. Make sure you check out our news on Wednesday and you check out our live streams on Thursday. And you can get in the comments and chat about all this stuff. Be nice. Please be nice. If you're not nice, we kick you out. But other than that, thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you soon.